Discord's a lot worse than you think. On the surface, Discord appears like an innocent little app where normal, regular people go to speak to their friends and acquaintances. But the more I looked into Discord, the more I realized the true depravity hiding on this app. Because trust me, there's a whole other side to Discord. The side that almost no one knows about, the part that Discord really doesn't want you to look at. We're talking about doxing servers, grooming, Discord mods, furries, and now even vories, the people who fantasize eating and being eaten by someone else, pro-anorexia servers, and some of the most depraved acts imaginable. All of this hiding beneath the surface of the seemingly innocuous app, facilitated and in some cases even promoted by the people running Discord. And it's time we talked about it. So for this video, we'll start with the more tame issues and then gradually proceed to the darkest corners of Discord. And trust me, it's gonna get nasty. So to begin with, let's talk about Discord's doxing problem. It's unsettling that most people know what doxing is these days, but if you're one of the lucky few that haven't heard of it, doxing is when someone exposes your personal information to the internet. This can include your full name, age, address, and any pictures you might have taken of yourself. Doxing is by no means a specific problem for Discord, it's all over the internet. However, Discord is especially notorious for giving these pathetic doxers a platform to launch their attacks. In fact, there's entire servers dedicated to doxing and exposing private lives. Within these servers, people trade information on how to dox and organize their doxing attacks with each other. This means that the people who use these servers have lots more ways to expose people's private information, and sometimes the people who join these servers are also the main victims. One specific doxing server from 2017 even had its own guidebook, which included specific instructions on how to do it. Using this, members of the server would dox their political opponents and anyone they thought deserved it. Another doxing server was made specifically to target vulnerable people on 4chan. Although 4chan is most famous for its political and random boards, the website also has dozens of other boards, which each serve their own niche communities. One of these boards is R9K, an experimental board where the same message can't ever be posted twice. R9K's specific subculture is framed around loneliness and vulnerability. The users refer to themselves as robots and self-report to be social outcasts. There's no doubt that lots of the people who post on R9K have severe mental health issues and are therefore much more susceptible to exploitation. Which brings us back to predatory Discord servers. One Discord user, going by the name of Rico, formed a master plan to ruin the lives of R9K users, where he would organize a targeted campaign to convince R9K users to transition from male to female. His tactics were to promise that life would get easier, that these people wouldn't be lonely anymore and would become free of social anxiety. Obviously, none of these outcomes would happen if someone didn't already have gender dysphoria. In fact, transitioning could be incredibly harmful for these people. So then how could he convince these people? How could he show off his master plan to the Discord server? Well, first he would lure these people into his Discord server, and from there the rest of the server and himself would uncover all their personal information, everything about them, everything you can think of, all their dirty secrets. These people were doing advanced background checks on the most vulnerable, all by using their prey's Discord data. Once they had the data, Rico would then go on to threaten people he doxed with swatting and leaking all their private information, unless they complied with his wishes. And this also leads on to swatting, which is a very common problem on Discord. In fact, people have actually died from this sort of thing. Like in 2017, when 28-year-old Andrew Finch opened his door one morning to find a full squad of police waiting for him, where he was unfortunately shot when the police thought he was reaching out for a weapon. But what's even more sick is that he had no connection to the swatter whatsoever. He just happened to live at the old address of the intended victim. And all of this attack just came from an argument over Call of Duty. And whilst children are often victims of the doxing and swatting servers, last year a spate of over 30 racially motivated swatting and bomb threats were ravaging the US. Police were perplexed by what seemed like a highly organized campaign of terror. Well, imagine the police's surprise when the attacks were traced to a single Discord server and 3 children between the ages of 13 and 16 were found to be responsible. And what's so unsettling about the story isn't just the nature of the crimes, but also how easy they are to commit. It's through Discord's ability to bring like-minded people together that ends up being a double-edged sword for the app. But when it comes to the dark stories of Discord, we're only scratching the surface. This is nothing compared to the end of the video, because it's not the only thing that kids are being sucked into, which leads us on to a highly toxic aspect of Discord, and it all starts with a boy named Aja. Aja was an only child who found out about a Runaway Children server from a YouTube video. This video would advertise a Discord group known as Runaway and Get a Life. After spending some time with the people on the server, their plans would never turn out, and so he would form his own server with 7 other teens. Unlike the previous server he was in, where teens mostly just talked about their rough home lives, Aja specifically made sure his server's plans to run away would be achieved. Older members in the chat room groomed Aja, offering him encouraging words and promised to meet up with him. So Aja did just that, and left his family behind. His parents frantically contacted the police. And lucky for them, 13-year-olds aren't very perceptive, and the police were able to track him through, well, you guessed it, Discord. According to the police, those in the server, quote, became their support system. They would share how they were upset after an argument with their parents or an altercation at school, and they would console each other and support each other to leave. But just think about this for a second. How many extreme ideas did you have during your formative years that never came to fruition because you had friends talk you out of it? Or you spent time just thinking about this stuff and you realized you were being stupid. You were just being emotional. But what if this was the other way round, where your emotions were egged on, where your darkest fantasies were supported? What if instead you logged onto a Discord server where people egged you on? In this instance, Aja was lucky. A young boy in Louisiana was not. This boy, who was the same age as Aja, ran away under the encouragement of others via another Discord server. And it turned out that the people on the server were only pretending to be the same age, and the boy ended up being trafficked. And therein lies the problem with Discord's anonymity being a double-edged sword. While for the most part Discord servers allows adults to interface with one another under the shade of anonymity, imagine if someone pretending to be a teenager in that Discord server wasn't actually a teenager. Well, this happens every day. There are thousands of stories of pubescent girls and boys being contacted by groomers and creeps. Just a quick Google search with the keywords Discord groomer will just show you how prevalent this is. Because Discord really is this gigantic meta space where all kinds of creeps hang out. But the biggest creeps of all are the people running the show. From bannings to doxings, Discord mods seem to be the worst of humanity. Much like their Reddit counterparts, Discord mods seem to have the same power complex and enjoy ruling their virtual kingdoms. I mean, if you just look at Discord mod on Urban Dictionary, it tells you everything you need to know. And this is all for a reason, as Discord mod's reputation is earned. Most of these mods are just losers who have had no control over their own lives, living in their mother's basements. They've also probably fried their dopamine receptors from being exposed to all sorts of lewd and extreme content all day, every day. I mean, to be a Discord mod, you have to be a certain type of person. You have to volunteer yourself to put up with all kinds of insanity just to keep your power. I mean, last year, a TikTok content moderator with a similar position tried to sue the company for giving her PTSD, and this content moderator was actually paid. And yet, even with all of this, by being a content moderator, she was traumatized from all the exposures to gore, CP, and general degeneracy, which inevitably destroys a person's brain. And this seems to be the case with all sorts of moderators.
And you are seeing dead bodies and murders, or people celebrating having killed somebody, dogs being barbecued alive. And you are seeing these images.
There's a Reddit thread where mods detailed some of the worst content they've seen on the servers, where spam accounts will pop up all the time and spam thousands of pictures of gore and CP into chat rooms. The mod is then left to handle all this dirty work, reporting all of this back to Discord. I mean, the Discord mods in this Reddit thread saw things that I can't even talk about on YouTube. And so with all this trauma, all this time and effort, all this stress, for what? There's no money here. Why are they doing this? It takes a certain kind of person to want to wallow through all of that disgusting content for free. And so Discord is left with only a select few for the job, which is why Discord does seem to attract these dopamine-fried power trippers that want to control servers and other people. Here's just a few examples of these people. This screenshot is taken from one of those doxing servers we talked about. Quote, reasons we are doxing. They said they don't like McCann or Junko. They think they're overrated. This Discord power user actually decided to dox someone. So why? Well, they had different opinions on anime characters. Never mind the fact that doxing is both illegal and unethical. The fact that these people go to such extreme measures over someone's anime opinion shows they're clearly detached from reality. In this example, this Discord mod used his position of power to try and convince a girl to play along with his dark fetishes. Keep in mind that the girl this creep is harassing was 14, and this kind of behavior is way too common with Discord. Discord seems to have a specific problem with this, as the moral corruption from these moderators inevitably flows down into the servers that they manage. Combine this fact with how many of these perverted mods are out there, and you've got an easy recipe for a degenerate platform. Case in point, there's over 100,000 servers on Discord dedicated to all kinds of creepy fetishes. Fetishes like furries. Now, for those of you who are normal and don't know what a furry is, here it is from a furry spokesperson.
Let's start with the basic Google definition of a furry, which is an enthusiast for animal characters with human characteristics.
Yes, these are people who dress up as anthropomorphic animals. Now, there's multiple reasons for one becoming a furry. Furries are typically 18 to 35-year-old males. They usually have a very deep love for certain animal characters at a young age, along with a vivid imagination. This is usually coupled with dissatisfaction with their real personal lives and/or physical appearance. a perfect role for a Discord mod. Typically, furries develop what's called a persona. A persona is where the person creates his own anthropomorphic cartoon character that best matches his physical preferences and personality traits. This persona then becomes the character of the furry he acts as. He then usually buys a custom-built fursuit that he wears when around other furries or participating in, quote, zoo activities. Guys who pretend to be furries also like to enjoy the freedom they receive from being able to act out their fantasies and personalities of their persona. And Discord is central to all of this. Discord is the hub of furries. In fact, it's through Discord that furry communities are built, with Discord having over 15,000 public furry servers. All across these servers are furries connecting with other furries just being their true selves, where they share questionable art such as, quote, cub art. Now, what's this? Well, in January 2019, amidst Discord banning not safe for work content on servers, a user on Discord got in contact with a Discord admin named Tiny Feeks, an admin on a prominent furry server. The user asked if cub and cub play content was a violation of Discord's terms of service. Now, this might sound strange, but why was he even asking this in the first place? Well, because cub content is the artistic rendition of young child animals, quote, involving themselves with older furry adults. And while furry content is prevalent on Discord and is permitted, this cub material seems to violate Discord's terms of service regarding CP. However, this Discord admin said that it didn't violate Discord's terms of service, which is strange considering the disgusting acts these pictures show. And then within days, the Discord admin's conversations were leaked online. And from there, more and more people began posting these similar screenshots of conversations they had with Discord's terms of service team. These conversations would reveal a herd of furry admins at Discord had let very questionable, quote, cub content remain on Discord servers. Worse, they not only kept this gross content up, but they would also strike and ban anyone who questioned allowing this content on public servers. After a short back and forth, Discord would eventually tighten its moderation on cub content, with depictions of cubs and lollies being banned from Discord. However, this only became an issue due to the double standard that furry admins have been granted. See, furry culture runs deep on the app and all the way to the top, and with Discord being littered with these furry admins and mods, they then can promote the furry culture to the rest of the public. I mean, would most people even know what furries are in the first place if they hadn't seen a group of people online encouraging it? And while furries are mostly harmless, it's on these Discord servers where people become more and more extreme, normalizing disgusting and borderline illegal acts, with some of this extreme content catalyzing furries to turn into vories, an even worse consequence of Discord. So then what is a vory? Well, a vory is a furry who, from spending way too much time with other furries on Discord, comes to develop a fetish for either eating people or being eaten themselves. Yes, you heard that right, these people get off on the thought of being eaten or eating someone else. And this is known on Discord as vorophilia. And the presence of these people on Discord is growing rapidly. There are 700 servers dedicated to the fetish of vor on Discord alone. And thankfully for the most part, people with this affection for vor never actually follow through with their strange eating habits. However, due to the nature of Discord, there is a pervasive community of people who once again encourage this awful behavior, and this degeneration gets much more dangerous when it affects people with real mental illnesses. There can be catastrophic effects when the focus of a group becomes the glamorization of mental illness rather than recovery. For example, anorexia. Anorexia is both one of the most common mental disorders and surprisingly the deadliest. This is because anorexia's awful effects on the psyche of its victims cause them to starve themselves, which then leads to life-threatening illnesses caused by chronic malnourishment. And without treatment, up to 20% of eating disorders end in tragedy. This isn't talked about that much, which makes it much more disturbing that pro-anorexia servers have become so common on Discord. I mean, these pro-ana servers are incredibly accessible. I managed to find multiple examples of this on the first page of Google by only searching for Anorexia Server. This makes it much more likely that young girls will find these servers when searching for a legitimate support group. Now, why do I say young girls? Well, because anorexia disproportionately affects teenage girls. Studies show that 4% of girls will develop anorexia in their teens, and of those affected, half will also develop bulimia or other eating disorders. So then what actually goes on in these Discord servers? Well, users in these Discord servers engage in a culture which sees anorexia not as a mental illness, but as a lifestyle. They share tips for losing weight and hiding evidence of their disorder from family and friends and even from doctors. Tricks such as drinking excessive amounts of water and wearing weighted bracelets to fool the scales are also discussed. Quote, thinspiration is also common, where users share pictures of dangerously skinny people in order to motivate each other's starvation. These servers often mask themselves as support groups as well, ensnaring vulnerable people looking for help. The owners of these servers also know their target demographic well. Of the ads I looked at, most advertised low age requirements. The lowest minimum I saw was only 12 years old. Starving oneself during puberty is especially dangerous. The body can't develop properly if it's running on empty. And now Discord does explicitly prohibit these servers in their guidelines. For example, they say do not share content that glorifies or promotes eating disorders such as anorexia or bulimia. However, despite this, it seems like Discord doesn't really care enough to enforce their own guidelines. I mean, just dozens of these servers populate Discord, the #1 site for public servers. And until Discord finds a proper solution for this problem, these servers will only continue to irreparably damage countless lives. But when it comes to depraved Discord stories, I've saved the worst till last. This last story began 20 years ago with the introduction of Christian to the internet. Now, for those who don't know, Christian was the subject of innumerable documentaries, articles, and blogs. Christian first came to prominence when he uploaded a series of comics detailing the story of Sonichu, a mashup of Sonic and Pikachu. His low-quality drawings and nonsensical plotlines quickly gained the attention from the wrong types of people, and once 4chan was evolved, this led to a long and sadistic campaign of trolling. But then, in 2021, this story took a much darker turn. You see, before Chris had transitioned and went by the name Christine, Christine was also the full-time carer of his elderly demented mother. This was after his house burnt down, with the flames being fueled by mountains of trash as a result of their hoarding habit. Christine and his mother had also been arrested for assaulting and attempting to run over the owner of a board game store. And this sordid history is directly linked to a successful campaign by trolls to fuel Christine's delusions. And by 2021, Christine was fully immersed in endless layers of nonsensical fantasies and deceptions. And in late July of 2021, a phone call was leaked where Christine discussed having relations with his mother.
So yeah, she's got really sensitive G-spot because apparently I don't believe Ethan, Mr. C, any of her past boyfriends and ex-husbands, they haven't really reached and hit her G-spot really.
The obvious aside, what made this even more awful was the fact that Christine's mother was 79 with dementia. Her vulnerability makes Christine's crimes all the more disgusting. But what was equally as disturbing was the person on the other side of the call. Because considering the awful nature of the conversation, the other person's manner was confusing. They didn't seem shocked or appalled, instead they were almost encouraging Christine to further abuse their mother. They asked for details and generally spoke like it was some everyday thing, and so the internet was quick to come up with answers. And after an organized investigation, the identity of the other person was revealed to be a student called Isabella Janker, and with this name came a tidal wave of depravity. Isabella had been involved in a wide array of crimes and general deviancy, with all of Bella's criminal sadistic misdeeds being centered around her Discord server, which she shared with several of her cronies. The server was called the Chess Club, named to sucker people in who were looking for a real Texas Tech chess club, and it was here that Bella had planned and discussed her plans to manipulating Christine into having relations with her mother. With all these messages, with all the manipulation, with all the criminal malevolence being recorded on Discord didn't do anything to stop it. Even though Discord does track everything you say on the app, Discord knew this was happening, and yet they did nothing about it. I mean, how were these people never caught by Discord? Especially when they have an automatic flagging system that flags and deletes servers instantly. And I mean, Discord doesn't just ignore the real threats either. The moderation team often bans normal users for the smallest infractions. I mean, there's just tons of story online of people being banned, some for even just joking that they were underaged. For example, this user and his friend joked to each other that they must be 12 years old because they were playing Fortnite. Clearly, Discord's automatic systems had been reading their DMs because Discord banned all of the accounts, despite the incredibly obvious context for the joke. And so they tried to appeal to Discord and were told to send Discord photos of their IDs within 12 days. They all compiled this well before the deadline that Discord gave them, and so you would think that this would be enough to get their accounts unbanned. But no, Discord instead decided to ignore all of their messages, and after the deadline had passed, all of their accounts were deleted. It was then that Discord chose to reply, not to actually help, but just to tell them to make new accounts. This whack-a-mole strategy for policing its servers is the final nail in the coffin for Discord. It's a massive problem that they let all this depravity happen on their platform, all while banning innocent people. And unfortunately, there's no signs that anything's going to change anytime soon. If all these issues aren't properly addressed soon, Discord's growing reputation as the dark underbelly of the internet will only continue to get worse. And soon enough, Discord could become the new 4chan. I have a quick important announcement to make. I'm sick of being demonetized on YouTube. I'm sick of censoring these videos for the YouTube algorithm. So this is gonna change. Every month, I'm gonna be releasing unfiltered, raw, controversial videos for YouTube members. Videos about the darkest corners of the internet, TikTok, the CIA, China, Rothschilds, and Mr. Robot's series review. And by the end of the month / early August, I'll be releasing a video on Ted Kaczynski, otherwise known as the Unabomber, where we'll talk about his story, going from a mathematical prodigy to living in the wild, sending bombs in the mail, and having his manifesto on the front page of the New York Times. Not only that, but by becoming a member of the channel, you'll have access to my Discord server to talk with other like-minded people, where every month I'll be doing a Q&A for all your questions. And if you're still not happy with your membership in the first month, I will personally refund you. All you have to do is email me. So if you want to watch exclusive, unfiltered, controversial videos that I can't release to the public, which includes access to my server and a monthly Q&A, join my channel for only $5.99 a month. This will also help us out a ton too in making these videos. And if you want to support the channel even more, I will hard code your name into my videos for only £3 more. So if this interests you, all you have to do is click the link in the description or click the join button below to have access to all of this. But with that said, let's get back to the video.